Did you know that clinical death is not the definitive end of life as we know it? This might sound like a plot line from a science fiction movie, but it's a startling truth from the real world of medical science. In the simplest of terms, clinical death is a temporary state of cessation. It's when the heart stops beating and the lungs stop breathing, but it's not necessarily the final curtain call. You see, our conventional understanding of life and death is challenged by this intriguing concept. Clinical death serves as the threshold, the boundary line that separates life as we know it from the unknown that lies beyond. It's a state where the vital signs that we associate with life, such as a beating heart or breathing lungs, cease to exist. Sounds scary, right? But here's the twist. It is not the absolute end. Now you might be wondering how clinical death differs from biological death. Well, biological death is the point of no return. It's when the body's cells and tissues start to degenerate, a process that is irreversible. On the other hand, during clinical death, there's a window of opportunity, a chance to bring the person back from the brink. Though the heart has stopped and the breath is still, the brain cells may still be intact and functioning. If medical intervention occurs quickly enough, there's a possibility to restart the heart and revive the person. It's like hitting the pause button on a movie. The screen freezes, but with a simple press of a button, the story continues. Similarly, during clinical death, life as we know it is on hold. It's a pause, a brief interruption in the symphony of life. So, clinical death isn't exactly the end. It's more like a pause, a terrifying yet fascinating pause. It's a concept that challenges our understanding of life and death, reminding us of the incredible complexities and mysteries that lie within the human body. Now, what exactly happens when someone enters this state of clinical death? It's a question that triggers both wonder and trepidation. As we delve into the initial stages of clinical death, we move on to a territory that is as fascinating as it is formidable. The very first thing that happens is unconsciousness. This occurs as a result of a lack of oxygen to the brain. The human brain, an amazing machine that it is, needs a constant supply of oxygen to function. As soon as the supply is cut off, it goes into survival mode and starts shutting down non-essential functions. This gradual process leads to unconsciousness, which is often the first sign of clinical death. Following unconsciousness, the heartbeat stops. The heart, that tireless worker, ceases to beat. This is known as cardiac arrest. When the heart stops, it no longer pumps blood around the body, causing the oxygen levels to drop further. It's a critical moment, a precipice, if you will, between life and clinical death. Once the heart has stopped, the next domino to fall is breathing. The lungs stop working, and the body is no longer able to take in oxygen or expel carbon dioxide. This is called respiratory arrest. So in quick succession, we see the power outage of the body's primary functions. Unconsciousness, cardiac arrest, respiratory arrest. It's like a cascade of events, each one leading to the next, and each one ramping up the severity of the situation. And yet, despite the abruptness of these events, there's a certain order to it. It's as if nature, even in this dire situation, follows a methodical, albeit unforgiving protocol. In the blink of an eye, everything that makes us alive stops. It's a startling reality, this onset of clinical death, but it's only the beginning of the journey. There's more to this story, and as we move forward, we'll explore how our bodies react to this state and the potential for revival. Stay tuned. As clinical death sets in, the body doesn't just give up, it fights back. In the face of clinical death, the body's natural response is to resist. One of the most immediate reactions is the gasping reflex, also known as agonal respiration. This is the body's desperate attempt to draw in oxygen, resulting in irregular, shallow breaths that are often accompanied by strange sounds. It's a primal response, one that speaks to the body's instinctual will to survive. But while the lungs struggle for air, a more silent battle is taking place within the cells. Without a constant supply of oxygen, cells begin to break down. They switch to anaerobic respiration, a less efficient method of producing energy that can only sustain them for a short period of time. As the cells struggle to survive, they release lactic acid, a byproduct of anaerobic respiration that can lead to a dangerous condition known as lactic acidosis. Meanwhile, the brain, the command center of the body, is entering a hyperactive state. As oxygen levels drop, neurons fire more rapidly in a desperate attempt to keep the body functioning. The brain essentially goes into overdrive, trying to compensate for the lack of oxygen. This can lead to a heightened sense of awareness, or even hallucinations, as the brain struggles to make sense of the chaos. But despite these valiant efforts, the body is fighting a losing battle. Without immediate medical intervention, The lack of oxygen will eventually cause irreversible damage. Cells will begin to die, organs will start to fail, and the brain will gradually shut down. Yet, even in the face of such adversity, the body continues to fight. It's a testament to the incredible resilience of the human body and a stark reminder of the severity of clinical death. Clinical death is a battle, a desperate fight for survival waged by the body. While clinical death sounds like the end, it's not always so. The potential for revival is a beacon of hope against the seemingly absolute finality of clinical death, but it's crucial to understand that this isn't a guarantee. It's a delicate dance with time, medical knowledge, and the condition of the individual at the time of death. Resuscitation, the process of reviving someone from clinical death, is a complex series of steps that aim to restore blood circulation and breathing. It often involves techniques like chest compressions, artificial ventilation, and in some cases electrical shocks to the heart. These actions aim to jumpstart the heart and get it pumping again, thereby bringing oxygen back to the brain and other vital organs. But the success of revival attempts isn't just about the quick application of these techniques. There are numerous factors at play. The amount of time that has passed since the onset of clinical death is a significant one. The longer the body goes without oxygen, the more irreversible damage occurs, particularly in the brain. That's why every second counts in a resuscitation attempt. The individual's overall health and age at the time of death also play a role. Younger individuals and those without severe pre-existing conditions generally have a higher chance of successful resuscitation. But even then, it's a race against the clock. And let's not forget the skill and experience of the medical personnel involved. Their ability to respond quickly and effectively can make the difference between life and death. It's also worth noting that even successful resuscitation doesn't guarantee a return to normalcy. There can be long-term effects, both physical and psychological, that survivors have to contend with. But despite these challenges, the fact remains that revival from clinical death is a possibility. It's a testament to the advancements in medical science and our understanding of life and death. It's a testament to our resiliency as humans. With timely intervention, the line between life and death can be blurred. That's the potential of revival. It's a glimmer of hope in the face of the seemingly insurmountable. It's the possibility of a second chance. Surviving clinical death is not without its consequences. It's a statement that carries a heavy weight and is underscored by tales of those who've crossed the threshold and returned. The aftermath of clinical death is a journey that is as unique as the individuals who experience it, but certain commonalities do emerge. Many survivors grapple with memory loss, a haunting consequence that can erase moments, days, even years. Imagine waking up and not recognizing your own reflection or forgetting the names of loved ones. It's a chilling reality for some, a fragment of their former self lost to the void. Physical impairment is another common after effect. Muscle strength may dwindle, coordination may falter, and the individual may struggle to perform tasks that were once second nature. Their body, in essence, has to relearn the rhythms of life. But it's not all about loss. Surviving clinical death can sometimes open the door to experiences that are as fascinating as they are puzzling. Enter the realm of near-death experiences, or NDEs. These are profound psychological events that occur in individuals close to death, or in some cases, even during clinical death itself. People who've had an NDE often report similar features. There's the sensation of floating outside one's body, a sense of peace and detachment from the physical world. Some recount moving through a dark tunnel towards a bright light, while others speak of encountering deceased loved ones or spiritual entities. The scientific community is still grappling to understand NDEs. Are they simply the brain's response to extreme stress? Or do they hint at something more, perhaps even a glimpse into the afterlife? The jury is still out. Clinical death changes everything for the person who experiences it and for those around them. It's a journey that's marked by loss, by struggle, but also by wonder, and the potential for profound personal transformation. And it serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between life and death that we all walk every single day.